Hello, everyone, and welcome on into FTN's NBA DFS stream. I'm Tom Viola here today. Joining me, as always, Javi Prellezo. Javi, how are you doing?
What's up, Tom? Good to have you here. You're pitch hitting today for Kawhisenberg. Hopefully everything's good. I know there's some bad storms there for Zach. Sorry he can't be on the show, but he's gonna be in Discord until his battery runs out on his phone, I guess.
That is right. I'm stepping out from behind the glass today. I mean, I already have to carry Zach so much. I guess today just finally had to just take over his job for him here on the show. He's dealing with some power outage issues down in Texas. Like you said, they got some bad storms out there right now. And so apparently a tree has knocked down the power line out front of his house. So he is in Discord until his phone gives out. But in the meantime, it is going to be you and me riding along today for this 6-game slate on the DFS cycle. You excited?
Man, I'm pumped up, mainly because I get to see your beautiful mug, Tom. I don't usually get to see you. You're just usually the guy behind the screen, but I'm pretty pumped up. I know ready to rock and roll here. So,
like my mom always says, a face for radio. All right, the first game up on the docket today, it is the Hawks versus the Wizards at 4 p.m. And both teams coming off a game last night. The Hawks took down the Pelicans 102-99. The Wizards, they beat the Celtics 116-107. Where are you looking in this game as far as ownership? Who are the guys you're going after?
Yeah, so this is an interesting game, Tom, because for me, so I'll tell you now about this slate. I'm really focused on the last two games of the night. I really, 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 really like Dallas and San Antonio, which I'm sure most of the DFS world will be on too. But I also like the Golden State and Memphis game, which the DFS world will like that game too. But I love these two. So, big news coming out of Washington. No Spencer Dinwiddie. He is out for rest. So we're going to get a value point guard in there. It's probably going to be Hal Neto or Aaron Holiday. Both guys I don't want to play. I don't want to play them. They're too scoring dependent. Neto's more, he might get the defensive stats here, but Holiday, he's just scoring dependent. Yeah, they're cheap options. I just prefer other cheap options. We're going to get to the Mavs value later on, but yeah, I'm not playing any of these Washington guys. Bradley Beal enticing now with no Spencer Dinwiddie, but 9,200. Beal looks off this year. I saw in Discord people were talking about that he's potentially hurt. Yeah, I don't like it. I just feel like the Hawks, even though it's the second night of a back-to-back for both teams, I feel like the Hawks are going to blow this team out. They're very good defensively. The pace is a lot slower for Washington without Russell Westbrook, and the pace is slow for the Hawks. So I honestly think this is a low-scoring game, not a game I'm going to heavily target. The only guy that I really, really like here is Montrezl Harrell, 5,300. Daniel Gafford's also out, which is very, very big for this team. So, I mean, they're down to like two centers. I think it's Todd and Harrell, and I don't even know if Todd has played this year. He's not a guy that's going to get a ton of minutes. He has played one game for 5 minutes, but Montrezl Harrell is going to be one of the locks of the night for me, even though this game is ugly, even though I'm worried about Clint Capella's defense on Atlanta. Montrezl Harrell is going to be the focal point for me on this Washington team. I don't think I'm going to play anybody else, just him. And then from Atlanta, I just like the value guys. So I know that's a lot. I'll stop. I'll listen, see what you got. I'm looking at Discord too. I'm not seeing too much.
I mean, what I'm seeing right here, Trae Young questionable with that shin injury. Looks like he should be able to play, but that's going to be worth monitoring if you want to have him. He's definitely the most expensive player on the slate from this game. Especially with him hurt, no interest there, right?
Nah, I mean, it's not because he's hurt. It is a good matchup. I just fear a blowout. You can't really predict the blowouts, guys. It's not something that you plan around here, but it's not going to be pretty for Washington. They're running out pretty disgusting lineup. So no Trae Young for me, unfortunately.
All right. Do you want to move on to the next game here? Because we got Detroit versus Philadelphia in the next spot. 76ers, well, we know the Ben Simmons saga has still been going on, but of course he's out, so I don't think you'd want to be playing him. But who are some of the top guys that you might be looking for in this game?
Yeah, I think so. We have to see We have to see the Detroit news too, because we are waiting on news about Jeremy Grant. I don't know if it came out. He's still questionable. So if he's out, then Kelly Olynyk becomes quite a good play. It does say that he's a game time decision. He did go, I think he was limited practice yesterday. So it all depends on that. I don't want to play Jeremy Grant if he's in. And Kelly O, I mean, I think he's fine. He's going to get the minutes. He's 5,800. The usage will be up. He might be a guy that I might sprinkle in my GPPs, but again, this is not a game that I really want to target. Joel Embiid looks very off right now, but he keeps playing. So we'll have to wait on news. If he's out, obviously Andre Drummond becomes quite the impressive play in a potentially a revenge game for him against Detroit. So yeah, I mean, it's another game that I'm a little hesitant on. We have to wait on news for Embiid, really, and then from Detroit, you got to wait on news from Jeremy Grant, too. So I'm sure we'll get it as we talk, because that game is starting at lock.
And I am looking on Twitter right now. I am seeing there is video of him taking some shots before the game. So we'll see if he is coming in there. Really just kind of wait and see with that, like you said, going to be a game time decision.
The New York Knicks. Nope, Trae Young is playing, by the way, confirmed it.
All right, Trae Young is confirmed to be playing here. There we go. The New York Knicks are taking on the Bulls. That game's going to be at 5 p.m. And let's talk about the slate there. I mean, the Knicks have not been terrible so far this season. It's only 4 games in, but
Yeah. I mean, the Knicks looked good last year. I'm not a New York Knicks fan because I'm a Miami Heat fan, and we had that rivalry in the 90s when I was growing up. But from a DFS perspective, you can't ignore Julius Randle. I mean, he's 9,500. He's too cheap. He's a guy that can break a slate on any given day. He's going against Chicago, who obviously new and improved team. Easy on the Knicks, Javi. New and improved team. They look good off the gates. Zach Levine, we're waiting to hear word if he does indeed play, so we have to wait on news for him. But as of right now, what I'm seeing here is that, he has a small ligament tear in his thumb, which is kind of serious. So, I mean, if he's out, it's a boost for DeRozan, Lonzo, Vooch. But this is another game that I feel is going to be slow paced and not really a juicy DFS game. The only guy I really like here is Randall because of the ceiling that he has here. And then from the Chicago side, I've heard people talk about Vooch. I mean, 8,600. I think that's a fair price for him. He's had only 2 games where he has 40 or more DK points. And that's in 4 games. And the other 2 games he busts. So I'm not a big fan. Not a big fan at all of the Bull side, just because I don't think I'm going to play them much throughout the season, just because it seems like Vooch is probably the safest of the big 4, I guess you could call them. But I mean, it's a boost for the entire team if Levine is out. So we have to wait to see what the deal is with Levine. It's really just Randall from here and move on.
Now, what about the Utah Jazz versus the Houston Rockets? You talk about blowout potential. This feels like another really easy spot for that. John Wall is already ruled out for this game. Most expensive player on the board is Donovan Mitchell. What are the guys that you really might want to target in this one, if there are any, given again the blowout potential?
Yeah, I mean, this has just got blowout written all over. I know this is a disgusting game. Usually,
tell me the Houston Rockets won't be able to put up a fight. Come on.
Yeah. I mean, maybe we saw OKC beat the Lakers and they were down by 28 points, and then there's a few close games yesterday that should have not been close. So you can't really predict blowouts here. But where Houston struggles, I mean, besides all over the place. Sorry, Cody. They struggle against the big man. So I mean, Rudy Gobert should eat these guys alive. He's off to a red hot start. He's got 44 or more DK points in 3 straight games, in all 3 games that they've played this season. So I think Rudy Gobert, if it's not a blowout, he could definitely break the slate, especially with how good he's been playing. Donovan Mitchell's been struggling. Mike Conley, he's too cheap. But I mean, I think this game is just going to get out of hand fast. So that's my fear. And because of that, I'm not going to be on it. But I mean, if this game does stay close, we could see Rudy Gobert or Donovan Mitchell or even Mike Conley. One of these three is going to crush it. So for me, I'm a little hesitant here.
Now, if you had to pick one of those three players, who might be the guy that you most want to throw into that lineup?
It'll probably be Gobert because, I mean, Houston does struggle defensively, but I mean, they struggle the most against the big man. They just eat him up alive. So Christian Wood and Daniel Tice can't really cover Gobert. So it's going to be Gobert, then probably Mitchell, then Conley. He's just too cheap, but we haven't seen much upside from him lately.
Now, no surprise, one of the top players that's going to be available on the slate tonight in terms of cost is going to be Luka Doncic in the Spurs versus the Mavericks game. It's a Texas battle. And is it worth throwing the money down on a guy like Doncic? Where would you go lower down the slate here?
I mean, I think he's either first or second on this slate. It's either him or Steph. So I mean, for me, I think he's got to be one of the first guys. And this game environment's just too good. It's a battle of two faster paced teams. San Antonio's playing very fast this year. And two of the worst defenses in the league. Dallas has improved a little bit defensively, but having no Kristaps Porzingis, that's a big blow for them defensively. He's one of their better defenders. Now you got probably Maxi Kleber in there, and he's going to be my top value here. But I mean, I love this game from top to bottom. I wrote this up in my article today, Tom. But I want to run 3 lineups today, and it's very simple. It's going to be a full game stack for Dallas and San Antonio, a full game stack for Golden State and Memphis, and then a lineup with Luka and Steph. So I mean, that's playing Luka in 2 of my 3 lineups. So I like Luka as a spend up option. He's got ceiling through the roof. Same thing with Randall, who's got ceiling through the roof as well. But for me here, I want to play Kleber. He's 3,200 on DK. Pretty much a free square in a great matchup too. Dwight Powell, he's fine too at center. He's 3,700 on DK. Should get extra run. There's a chance that Boban doesn't play today, which alleviates some backup minutes away from Dwight Powell because he's been pretty much limited here. But I mean, this is just great from top to bottom. And we have to wait. Like if Boban's out, they do have Moses Brown and Willie Cauley-Stein to back up Powell, but I don't know. Powell at 3,700 just seems too good. Cleo at 3,200. The guy that's probably the odd man out for me is Tim Hardaway Jr. 6,400. Just too expensive. I don't want to play 6,400 Tim Hardaway Jr. unless Porzingis and Luka are out. So because of that, I'm off of that. Dorian Finney-Smith on FanDuel, I think he's fine. On DK, 4,900, a little too much for me. So again, Luka's the primary staple here. Then Kleber. And then Powell, but I'm definitely gonna play Cleveland and Luka in a bunch of lineups. So when you're ready, I can talk about the other side. I don't know if there's any other questions here.
Yeah, I'm ready to move on. If you are, the last game on the slate, the Memphis Grizzlies going up against the Warriors here in this one, and Golden State.
Wait, time out, Tommy. Oh, time out. We gotta talk about San Antonio. We didn't talk about that. Sorry,
my bad.
My bad. No, that's me, man. I get in my tangents here. So from the Spurs side. DeJounte Murray and Jakob Poeltl, they both Jakob Poeltl, they both saw big price jumps. Like Poeltl's now 7,100 and Murray's 8,800. I like them both. I think they're fine. We've seen some ceilings here, and you can see an even bigger ceiling today. Obviously against the Lakers, that was such a fast-paced game. We could see a similar pace here in this game. The question is whether you go Vassell or Walker. Those are 2 great value options. Walker at 47, Vassell at 42. They're both going to get a boost here with Doug McDermott out. So those are the guys that you want to look at. Keldon Johnson has been struggling a little bit. But yeah, that's basically for me, it's DeJounte Murray, it's Poeltl, and then Vassell and Walker. Really. So sorry about that.
All good. Hey, just try. I am the bus driver today. I am just trying to keep the bus, get it from the school to the kids' houses. That's all it is. I'm trying not to crash everything here.
No,
our last game. Thank you. Our last game up on the slate, the Memphis Grizzlies versus the Golden State Warriors. And the Warriors, even without Klay Thompson, are looking like a dang good team so far this season, have yet to lose. And no surprise, you look at the top three guys all on this slate here. It's Curry, it's Morant, and it's Green right at the top of the heap. Curry's just below Doncic. He's valued at 10,900 instead of the 11,000 that Doncic is valued at. And then Morant's at 9,600, followed by Green at 7,400. Are you looking at the guys on the top of the slate? Obviously Curry, but what about Morant?
Yeah, man. So I've been seeing in the Discord chat that people are not liking Morant because of the price. I like Morant, especially for a game stack here. If I'm going Steph Curry, you can bring it back with some of the cheaper guys. Like for me, I love Memphis today. I think this is a phenomenal spot for Memphis, but I also like Steph Curry. It's not the best matchup for Golden State, but it is an amazing matchup for Memphis. Golden State, they play pretty fast, and they're one of the worst defensively, and one of the worst in defensive efficiency. So I think Memphis, like Desmond Bane, DeAnthony Melton, Steven Adams, John Morant, all four of those guys are in play. And I like all four of them quite a bit. Morant's the one guy that might be the one left out for Luka. I prefer just to spend a little over 1,000 more for Luka because the ceiling is there against San Antonio. But for me, it's really Bane, Melton, and Adams that are staples here. I'm going to have a ton of exposure to Adams and Harrell at my center position today, and then I do like I do like them as well. So Zach LaVine's on track to play, by the way.
All right.
So that's something to note here. So I mean, it makes me like the Bulls even less, unfortunately. So.
All right, Freshie in the Discord wants to know who is your top value play from the entire slate.
Yeah, so Kleba is going to be the power forward guy I want, and then at small forward, Freshie. Let's see here. I'm trying to look at DK small forward. I mean, it's probably going to be Vassell at 4,200, so I'll let him know too.
All right,
sure,
and
he's watching this.
Definitely. They're already also asking you, do you have a sexy six for tonight?
Oh man, yeah, my sexy six is always up there whenever I write. So my sexy six today, and I'll pull it up real quick. It should be on the site, but I gotta update it as well. So while I pull that up, as of right now, I wrote up a ton of value options, but my sexy six is going to be around Desmond Bane, Montrezl Harrell, which I did write up Harrell, but I added him at the bottom of the article as a core play. So Desmond Bane, Harrell, Adams, Steph Curry, Doncic, and Kleber are probably those six. So Lonnie Walker and Melton just missed the cut, but I like them too. And I can put that too.
Yep. Quick update here for you coming down the wire just 2 minutes ago. Bohan Bogdanovic is available for tonight's game versus the Rockets.
Yeah, that means nothing to me. I'm not gonna play Bohan, and it doesn't really affect the team at all, really.
Gotcha. Now, if you look at the implied totals here, obviously top game on the slate is the Memphis Golden State game at 233 around town. It's moved down a little bit to 228.5, but still the highest total on the board for tonight. And you already talked about that's most likely the match where we're going to be seeing just points on points on points.
So the points on points, is going to be the last two matches I touched on. So it's really going to be, someone's asking for my sexy six again. Sorry, I'm going to type this in there while we wait, and then ask your question one more time, Tommy. Sorry.
So the Memphis game, the Memphis Warriors game, probably going to be the biggest point total. You're looking here. It's at 228.5 around town here in Las Vegas right now, which is why I actually can't play DFS games, because Nevada, for some reason, doesn't allow that, which I find incredibly ironic. But some of the other games here with not bad totals, Atlanta, Washington coming in right now as the second highest total on the board, actually, even eclipsing the Dallas game. It's at 223 right now. Do you think there's potential for a little more of a scoring outbreak in that one?
Yeah, I mean, I just think that both these games could have the potential. It's two. I mean, it's a battle. So Memphis defense is probably the best of the four, but the other three defenses are not good. It's pace up spots. I can definitely see the Dallas and Spurs game outscoring the Golden State one. And then like the other games I don't like I see some talk about Beal, guys. He does not look right. He doesn't. If Washington's gonna stay in this game, it's because of him. And I don't know. I just can't get behind Bradley Beal until I see him bounce back. He just looks unhealthy. He looks hurt. And this Atlanta matchup is not a good one. Atlanta's defense, I mean, they play slow. Washington has slowed down. It's just a path that I don't see to be optimal. Plus, Washington has a pretty bad lineup here. So, yeah, I mean, it's just ugly, really. I mean, what other Vegas totals? Have you seen any other jumps from your side? Or I don't know if you have that readily available.
I do actually have that readily available right now. It feels like an under slate to me because at least that's where the bettors have been going. Looking through the entire slate, Detroit and Philadelphia, that opened at 216 all the way down to 212. New York and Chicago, tiny bit of movement from 215 up to 216. Same thing with Atlanta, Washington, where it was 224 and it's now just sitting around that 222. And then almost no movement at all on San Antonio versus Dallas. They are standing pat at 220 even. And Utah, Houston, same deal. They were at 223.5 and it's moved slightly down to 222, but it's still sticking right around in that zone. The biggest movement has been that drop off from 233 down to 228 in the Memphis Golden State game.
Yeah. So that Philadelphia one dropping is pretty interesting, but I mean, I'm not surprised. There is Jeremy Grant and Joel Embiid are both warming up. So that's important stuff because, again, we lose some value with Philadelphia and then no Kelly Olynyk. I would not play any Kelly Olynyk at that price. I did see here, if you have cash for Gobert on FanDuel, did you go him over Adams? I would. On FanDuel, Adams is a little expensive. So I don't mind that. I love Adams on both sides, but I prefer him more on DraftKings where you get the discount. And then I answered the other question. And then I guess from the Vegas spreads back to that, what did you say about the Atlanta Washington, Tom?
Atlanta Washington was 224 and it's moved down. You're going to see it at most places around 222.5 right now.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, I guess talk to me, Tommy. So, obviously I have the betting background, but in Vegas is 1.5 points. Is that really considered a big deal or not really?
Not really. I'd say a shift like that, especially this is right where those shifts tend to happen as you're getting towards the slate. You're getting a lot of the last minute action here because the other thing is that you do have a lot more people who are going to be much more casual bettors that fly into Vegas because they go, oh, you know what? I'm here for the weekend. I don't normally get to sports bet, although that's of course changing, thankfully. But they'll come in and they'll just make a last minute bet at the window on their team's game for the night because they feel like, why not? And they're not as focused on things like getting sharp action, getting the best of the number. They're just there to fire off on something because it's there.
Yeah. Okay. So like the big swings are probably like what, 4, 5, 6 points then?
Yeah. Stuff like that is when people will more likely start to take notice and say, okay, some sharp action has probably come down on this. And that is the other fun thing here in Vegas. You do see so much more of that sharp action that can really influence a line and change some bets. I know some guys who on reputation alone will cause a 1.5 movement swing just because they made a bet.
Yeah. I'm seeing, do we have a Washington line? We don't. But again, I can't emphasize how much I do not like Neto or Holiday today. Now, one of them is going to start for Dinwiddie. And listen, Holiday is so scoring dependent, and Neto is just such a low usage guy. I don't know. I think if you're going to do a pivot there, it's probably Kyle Kuzma, if anything. If you think this game stays close, it's because one of Beal or Kuzma go off. But like I said, I like Harrell a lot. Harrell's the guy I'm going to focus on.
Now, how about with those Warriors, the way that Curry's been playing, How do you think moving kind of into the future here? How do you think that might get affected with the return of Klay Thompson? What do you expect to see from him once he does get back out on the court?
Yeah, I mean, I think his usage goes down, but I mean, they're gonna treat Klay Thompson with baby steps here. So that I mean, it's not gonna affect him though. It's Chef Curry, man. He's always cooking. Someone said, "How do you pronounce Denny Avdija?" Avdija. Denny Avdija, I guess. Avdija? Yeah, I don't know. You say my name Javi, not Javi, so maybe Denny Avdija is how I would say it. Ha,
I think that
to it. Sucker. Yeah, try testing me. I'm not David, Ricky. Tate. So someone said Joe Ingles or just Sean Tate. So Tate burned us a few nights ago, guys. He was one of my top value guys too. I wasn't on the I wasn't on the stream or the article last time he was on there, but I still like him. Someone says, why do you keep saying low usage for Neto? It's about the same touches per minute as Beal. Yeah, I think he's going to be over-owned. This guy's not going to throw up a bunch of shots. Yeah, he'll have the touches per minute, but he's not going to be like Beal's going to be the guy there, but he's not healthy. I just think this game blows out and they're bad chalk. Like, I prefer to go elsewhere. And remember, guys, these early games are always over-owned. So that's what I'm focusing on here.
We have
we have a long one here. Sorry, go
ahead. We do have a slight injury update on the Jazz. Nothing major. Looks like Eric Pascal is going to be able to go. Rudy Gay and Udoka Azubuike are both out, but nothing significant right now.
Yeah. And like I said, I don't know. Yeah, I think he's almost over. I mean, you could say that, but I think there's other. Yeah. I do think he's going to be over-owned. If we get the lineup now, he's going to be over-owned. SuperDraft forward spot in large field GPPs. Hunter at 1.8. Cleva at 1 point. Cleva. T Panthers is what I'm going to do. I'm not sure if people are on the stream, so I'm typing it out too. I'm just so again, I don't know. I think like I see your points about Neto being too cheap and that he crushes the price tag, but I just think if it's announced now in the next like 2 to 12 minutes, I'm going to go away from this. I think a lot of people are going to. I think a lot of people are going to get to him, especially if we get the lineup soon. If we get it like 5 minutes before lock, guys, then yeah, play Neto. Because not the bots there that are clicking optimize on their fantasy cruncher or FTN optimizer, I should say. Sorry. I just think that these people are not going to, they're just not going to be able to get to Neto in time. So it depends on when we get the news. If we get it within the next 10 minutes, I mean, even if we get in the next 15 minutes, he could be under-owned. But guys, I'm not on it personally. Yeah,
still waiting.
I'm just having a few little discussions here, you know. People are trying to argue with me, you know.
Still waiting on that lineup news from them. Like we said, I'm keeping an eye on the Twitter sphere, trying to figure out exactly trying to just get us the latest as it comes down the pipe.
Yeah. Good friend Osimo Caruso expects Neto at 0.5%. That's not reflected by the news. Is Levine a good GPP single entry move on DK? I don't like that game. I really don't. But I think it's fine. The Knicks are just. I mean, they're a solid defense. They play pretty slow. But Levine's got one of the better matchups on that team. So we'll have to see. We also have to wait on this Neto news. You guys, come at me, bro. I'm just kidding. What else you got for me, Tommy? I'm waiting for some more questions here.
Yeah, what else? I suppose, we already talked about the totals for this slate here. Looking in again on that blowout potential, then how about we look in on some of these spreads? Because the games with the most blowout potential, I mean, are fairly obvious here. You got Detroit and Philadelphia. That's the biggest spread on the slate. Philadelphia minus 10.5 point opener, still around that 10 or 9.5 points. And then Utah and Houston the other way. Utah 9-point favorites. It's been bet up to 9.5. But the other games are relatively close. Even the Atlanta-Washington. Atlanta's only a 2-point favorite over the Wizards right now. It's moved up to 3-4 at some spots, but still, as far as the spreads on tonight's slate, it is the second closest game behind the Knicks and the Bulls.
Yeah, Jeremy Grant is in, guys. So just don't play Kelly Olynyk. Don't play anyone from Detroit. Move on. Yeah, listen, man. If you have a legal state, Embiid is also in. All right, so we're getting news, Tommy. As you asked me a question, you see that? Then we get all this news.
Yep.
Let's see. 1 second.
Love seeing Jeremy Grant play, Syracuse legend.
I'm a big fan of his, actually. I loved what he did last year. I thought he was going to win comeback player of the year, but he did have a little bit of his injuries last year. So, so based off the spreads, if you're in a betting state, guys, I would bet the Hawks -2. I would smash that play. I would bet, I don't know. If your normal bankroll is like $20 a day, I would just bet that game. Just bet the $20 on that. If it's $100, put $200 on the Hawks today. I know somebody's going to screenshot this and record the video if the Wizards do win, but I don't know, guys. I really no Dinwiddie. The lineup looks bad. I don't know. I feel like this is not a Wizards team that can compete with the Hawks. Yes, second day of a back-to-back, but yeah, I honestly, my most confident bet would be the Hawks -2. I would take the -2 also.
I'm looking right now. That was the opener, and it's around 3 or 4 right now. You still feeling confident?
Yeah, man. I think the Hawks are going to crush these fools, man. And I'm surprised it's at 2, even with Dinwiddie out. So.
Well, you know what? I just bet it because why not? I'm going to ride with you there.
Yeah, hell yeah. Let's go, man.
Yeah.
Is there a reason why Bane getting more love than Melton? Just chasing, Ricky. They're chasing the good game that he had yesterday and the consistency he's had. And we saw yesterday Melton I don't even think he ended up scoring a point. That's not going to happen here again. So for that reason, I do like Melton more.
What's your...
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to ask, what's your personal take on how you want to approach bounce back games versus guys who were hot last night? Are you more inclined to fade a guy who had a really great night the night before, or like how do you try and follow up those games that you feel like are aberrational performances?
It depends on the matchup, really. Like somebody who consistently crushes, I think it's fine. Somebody that says they don't game log chase, they're a liar. Everyone's game log chasing guys in our industry. So it just matters if these guys are clowns in here, but it just matters like who it is. Like somebody like Desmond Bane, he's had a great year to start it off. Melton's had a great year too, but he just struggled yesterday. He couldn't score. I think he went 0 for at the free throw line too yesterday. I played the crap out of Melton and he bit me in the ass, but I'm going back to him here. I think it's just a great spot for the entire Memphis team against this Golden State team that plays fast. They're not good defensively. Yeah, I mean, I'm playing both in a ton of lineups, but I'm okay if you want to just go one or the other. So for me, it is. We did see Bane left with a laceration of some sort, but he didn't end up coming back in because of it. The game got out of hand, and they were playing there on the first game of back-to-back. But for me, it's tough not to play Melton or Bane. They've been crushing it this year, and they're too cheap still. So
All right, we're 24 minutes from lock right now. And a quick reminder to people, if you are watching us from YouTube here or on the Twitter sphere, and you're not a subscriber yet to FTN Daily, head on over right now. Go to ftndaily.com, pick up a package, get 10% off with the code FTNWins right now, and go join in because Javi and the entire gang have so much fantastic content to help you dominate in daily fantasy, not just in basketball, but in every sport. I mean, Javi, you're on how many shows a week over the course of how many different sports?
I don't know, man. 15 sports, 15 shows a week. I don't know.
It's a lot of fun. It's a fun ride.
No, it is a fun ride. Somebody's asking favorite FanDuel GPP favorite 2 power forward plays. You pull up FanDuel then. So for FanDuel, I am leaning. So there's GPP, he said also. So no more Kelly O, unfortunately. I think a guy like Dwight Powell might go underowned. I think he's a phenomenal play. And Kleba, he's still a free square in there. I think I'd still use him in GPP. So I think those are the guys I would focus on, really.
One thing to really note that's been a big storyline so far this season, fewer fouls are obviously being called so far, and so scoring is down. How has that affected the way that you approach some of these games on the DFS type?
Sorry, say that one more time, Tom.
With fewer fouls being called and scoring down so far, under sitting at 40 to 25 so far on the season, how has that affected your approach to some of these DFS players? Are there any guys, I mean, the easy name to throw out is James Harden, but are there some guys that the lack of free throws does come into your consideration when you're trying to figure out who to put in the lineup?
Yeah, I mean, James Harden and even Damian Lillard, some of these guys have struggled off the get-go, and I think that could have a play on it. But for me, it's just I'm not really taking that too much with a grain of salt. I think they'll pick it back up. So it's not really a big factor. That's a good catch. I mean, I have noticed there has been less calls. So
Box Scores on the Discord wants to know, what are your thoughts on Kelton Johnson at DraftKings?
So Keldon Johnson, he's a guy that I'll have exposure to. I like him quite a bit. I think he's fine. I like the Spurs from top to bottom, and he's one of the value guys you can play also. The problem is, does he stay out of foul trouble? So that's my biggest thing. But the price is good. I love that game.
Jay Wynn wants to know if you like Cam Reddish tonight.
I do. Yeah, I think Cam Reddish and DeAndre Hunter are perfectly fine. They're going to get anywhere between 25 and 30 minutes. If this game blows out, maybe they might get a little less, but I think they're too cheap. So I like them. Ooh, our boy Marshall's in here. Look at that. What's up, Marshall?
He wants to know thoughts on Josh Jackson as a pivot off of Spurs and Memphis value.
I'm not really on Detroit, unfortunately. I think it's fine if you want to get off that, but I would just stick to the Spurs and Memphis value. This is a day for not getting cute. So for me, it's full steam ahead on the Spurs and Memphis value.
My friends and I actually have a betting tradition when it comes to the Detroit Pistons. We have a parlay we run every single time that the Pistons and the Red Wings play on the same day. We take the opposing team in both of those games. It has been a net profit so far. We've been doing it since last year.
Yeah, I mean, betting against the Pistons will win you money more times than not. They're pretty bad. Sorry, Kyle. Rest in peace to your team. What else? I mean, we can get out of here in like 5 minutes too. If there's no other questions, I can just hop into Discord. But yeah, I mean, guys, I would prioritize Luka or Steph. Probably, you can play both of you. I think that's going to be a pretty common build. But I mean, there's a ton of value that you should be able to get both of them in there. So just keep that in mind. I think it's a day for not getting, too cute today. You can try, but I don't know. I don't know if it's going to work out for you. So play Montrezl Harrell. He's a big point per minute monster. Play the values from the Spurs. Play the values from Memphis. Play Steph Curry or Luka. Move on with your life. So.
Now, Ricky wants to know why he should give me one reason to fade Melton Bain.
Ownership. They might be over-owned. I mean, I think Bain's going to have more ownership than Melton, but that's the only reason. It's a great matchup, guys. I mean, like, I can't emphasize how bad Golden State is defensively. So that's something to keep in mind. So that is interesting. So Wizards stars still aren't announced. This is great. Yeah, this is good. This is good. Maybe I do like Neto a little bit more now because of the potential of him being lower owned. My fear was we've seen how Neto chalk bust many times before. So, I mean, he's crushed. I remember somebody was saying, yeah, he's crushed that price before. But, yeah, we've also seen him not crush that price before at cheaper and high owned. And I don't know. For me, I think now you could bump up your exposure to him a little bit.
Spencer Dinwiddie not playing tonight because of rest. Javi, it's been 4 games this season. What?
Well, he tore his ACL, so I mean, I give him the benefit of that. I always laugh at them, like, oh yeah, I wish I could take off of work for rest. I'm tired, so let me take off today. But no, these guys are professional athletes. I get the wear and tear, but yeah, it is what it is. I think this is your job, though, man. You get paid.
Yeah.
Man up.
But the thing that I take away from it's your job, but your job isn't. We think as fans, your job is to go out and you're supposed to play in the basketball game because I'm paying money to go see you play every game. But the reality is these guys aren't paid to go play basketball. They're paid to win championships. And
right.
You look at it with the Milwaukee Bucks. They used to be the only team that took the regular season seriously. And then they finally went, oh, you know what? We can actually slack off and focus for the postseason. And what'd they do? They went out and they finally won a long-deserved title. So, like, as much as it's not fun for us from a daily perspective, I get it when these teams are trying to hoist the hardware at the end of the year.
Yeah. Yep. I 100% agree. I also think, I mean, I know you're on the side of like their job is to win championships, but it's also like to play, give us, the TV ratings and the cheering for the team, going to the games, it's gotta mean something to them, right? Not just a paycheck. I mean, yeah, obviously the paycheck's nice, especially the guy that goes out there and plays 1 minute and gets, $50,000 paycheck for that 1 minute. But for me, it's just like, give us a performance, show us a Steph Curry night in and night out. That's how I see it.
Yeah. I do agree, but at the same time, I'd rather maybe not have Steph Curry for 20 games out of the season and watch the Warriors win a championship at the end of the year than, speaking as a bandwagon Warriors fan there, than watch him play 82 games during the regular season and have them not win the championship.
Mm-hmm. I just wish everybody would just put on a show like Steph Curry, Chef Curry. Yeah.
Those games are so much fun. I want to go back and go see one at the new Chase Center.
Yep. Let's see. Any rankings today? No, guys. No rankings. No power for Zach. I think Eddie's tied up. So. Yeah. Preference between the value wings for San Antonio. So, Joe, I think Zach was saying earlier it was Lonnie Walker's season. So, JJJ or Kuzma. Ooh, I'm on JJJ personally, just because of matchup. Give me Josh.
Looks like Holiday's going to be starting.
Yeah, Aaron Holiday's in. So, again, 2 scoring dependent. No thanks. I get he's going to be low owned, but no thanks. When the Charlotte Hornets hit the West Coast, you should make it out to watch them play. Must see entertainment. See that, Tommy? You're getting tagged now.
Yep, I'm loving it. My first ever NBA game was actually the Western Conference Game 7 between the Warriors and the Thunder. it's tough to top that. That was just such a night.
Was it Thunder and who?
The Warriors.
Oh man, that is good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that when Russell Westbrook was there or what?
I'm not sure. I know
OKC?
KD was.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Might have been both.
Yeah. I'm not positive. I can't quite remember.
Yeah. KD and Russell Westbrook. That was quite the team. But
Yeah.
no more. That's it. Enemies now. Not even frenemies. We can get out of here though, Tommy. I don't think there's, if anything, I can hop in Discord, so I think we're good.
All right. That sounds good. Well, Javi, it has been a pleasure riding along with you here, filling in for Zach. We hope he has power back soon. Worst case, I might have to head down there to Texas and start up a hamster wheel generator for him, get him rolling back again if he's not back for tomorrow. But that is going to do it for us here. Once again, if you're not already a subscriber to FTN Daily, use the promo code FTNWins to get 10% off any package at ftndaily.com. And of course, a huge shout out to our sponsor, SuperDraft. We appreciate all the great work that Zach, Eddie, and the crew do over there at SuperDraft. And Javi, like I said, it has been a pleasure, and I will see you.
Pleasure's all mine. Good job, Tommy.
Thank you so much. All right, guys, have a good one. Best of luck on tonight's slate.
See ya.